this is what we are picking up. Game changer Rafale marine aircraft deal inked between India and France. The game changer Rafale deal has been sealed between India and France. 63,000 crore deal to buy 26 Rafale M fighter jets from France has been finalized. And with this deal, Rafale will dominate the skies from the aircraft carriers INS Vikrant and INS Vikramaditya. These advanced jets will bolster India's maritime power, countering threats in the Indian Ocean. The Rafale M is widely considered among the most capable fighters of its class in the world and is only operated presently by the French Navy. Pradeep Datta continues to be with us on the broadcast. Now, this includes 22 single-seater Rafale M jets and 4 twin-seater trainers with deliveries starting in a few years and expected to be completed by 2031. The Rafale M jets will operate from INS Vikrant and INS Vikramaditya, replacing the aging MiG-29K fleet. So a 63,000 crore deal with France to buy 26 Rafale marine aircraft for the country's first indigenous aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant and Vikramaditya, has been sealed. Rishabh is getting us more details, also coming at a very, very crucial hour, a significant deal.
Well, Swati, definitely. 63,000 crore deal, which will get us 26 Rafale marine jets. Remember, out of these 26, 22 will be single-seater, while 4 will be twin-seater trainer jets that will be given to INS Vikramaditya and INS Vikrant, the 2 aircraft carriers that the Indian Navy have. This will further enhance the capabilities of Indian Navy's air power. Apart from that, what we're given to understand that this will, the first, set of Rafales will come in by 2026, and the final 26 will be with India by 2031. Remember, by 2035 is when India plans to get rid of the 2 squadrons of MiG-29K, which right now are operational from INS Vikramaditya and INS Vikrant. So, in a way, 2 squadrons coming in, and that will definitely benefit India's surveillance in Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean as well as the Bay of Bengal. Remember, this deal being signed right now is also very significant. This will send a very clear message that it's not only Air Force, Indian Army, but Navy is also upgrading itself for any future warfare or other requirements that India might have in waters as well. So 63,000 crore deal has now been inked. The first supply will come in by 2026.
Absolutely. Like I said, a very, very significant deal for the 26 Rafale fighter jets has been inked between India and France. 63,000 crore mega deal has been sealed. Like we were talking about, the aircraft carriers, INS Vikramaditya and INS Vikrant. And the move, in fact, through this particular deal is to strengthen and boost Indian Navy's capabilities in the Indo-Pacific region, Rishabh.
Well, definitely. See, when it comes to, Indo-Pacific region, the Indian Ocean, the Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal, right now we are also talking about how, we are preparing for 2.5 fronts. Pakistan, China, and now even Bangladesh, which has been turning quite anti-India. So dominance over the waters is very, very important. Back in 1971, blockade of Karachi
All right,
Harbour.
Rishabh, stay on with us. We have Commodore Anil Jaisingh joining us on the broadcast. Thank you very much for giving us your time. Your first reaction on this deal being sealed between India and France?
I think this is a very important contract that has been inked for the 26 Rafale M aircraft, because India, as you're aware, is now operating 2 aircraft carriers. So that means we have to have 2 operational carrier battle groups at all times. And a carrier battle group is not only about an aircraft carrier by itself, it's about the complete composite naval force that constitutes a carrier battle group. And therefore, it requires to have adequate capability across the entire spectrum of capability. And fighter aircraft form the very raison d'etre of an aircraft carrier. Because an aircraft carrier battle group is supposed to go in harm's way. It's supposed to strike the enemy. And that's why you need fighter aircraft for that. Now, presently, we only had the MiG-29 aircraft, which had come, and Vikramaditya was acquired in 2013. And subsequent to that, we haven't really added anything to our fighter jet capability, naval fighter jet capability. So these Rafale M, which are probably amongst the best carrier-borne fighter jets in the world, will add great capability to the Indian Navy's carrier battle group sea control capability, because, as the situation, as you can see, the security situation is changing by the day. The geopolitical complete scenario is undergoing is constantly is a dynamic change we are witnessing every day. Very soon we'll probably have a Chinese presence, larger Chinese presence in the Indian Ocean. By that time, we have to be ready in all respects to ensure that India, which has always been the dominant naval force in the Indian Ocean, should always be able to retain that combat edge. And when you retain the combat edge, it is not about, it's not a zero-sum game. It's not so many ships versus so many ships or so many submarines with so many submarines. It's about the capability you create and the capacity you create to protect and safeguard your maritime interests in the region, irrespective of what the enemy can, pit against you. So I think from that perspective, whether we're looking at the long term in terms of strategic or we're looking at the more immediate operational and tactical situation, I think the importance of the two carrier battle groups being very potent offensive platforms for the Navy is absolutely essential. And for that, these aircraft will be a great asset. All
right. Thank you very much for speaking with us, Commodore Anil Jai Singh. We also have Srinjoy Chaudhary joining us on the broadcast. It's known to be a sturdy aircraft, and like the Commodore was explaining, especially in challenging tasks, challenging situations.
Well, first of all, the Indian Navy has only 39 MiG-29Ks. Now, that's not enough for two carriers. So you desperately need a new 29K is an oldish aircraft. Secondly, the next plane that India is designing and planning will take a while to come. It's the two-engine plane, but it's still in the planning stages. So you needed a plane for the next 30 years. Now the MiG-29K apart, these Rafales will be very helpful. Primarily, of course, they will provide the Navy with these 26 planes. But apart from that, it will be easier to maintain them, easier to look after them, because India already has 36 Rafales. That is with the Air Force. Now, a lot of the planes are very similar, so you will have the similar parts. So if there is a requirement, this can be looked at very seriously. Supposing the Navy needn't have just at that point, that spare part may be available with the Air Force. So the Rafale will be helpful for the Navy for the next 30 years at the least. That's the important thing. This had been cleared when Prime Minister went to Paris, and after that, the CCS cleared it just a while ago. Apart from this, these 26 aircraft are going to be serviced. That Dassault, which manufactures these aircraft, and the 36 of the Air Force, could set up an MRO, a sort of repairment situation in India. That will not just help the Indian forces, but also the Rafales and Mirages that other countries...
Well, it is going to, strengthen and bolster. Yes, absolutely. So just stay on with us. We also have Wing Commander Praful Bakshi joining us on the broadcast. Your first reaction, sir?
My reaction is, of course, it's a very encouraging thing. It was long overdue. And as I tell you that we Indian Navy got aware of its position that it should have a superior strength when we go to battle, and they should have an air cover. Let me tell you, ma'am, before we proceed further, that all navies which never had air cover were doomed to failure. That's why Russian Navy never did well in Second World War. And that's why even German Navy ultimately came to a halt because they did not have proper aircraft carriers. So aircraft carrier is a must. India woke up to it. Vikrant came in 60s, and we have the Seahawks and all this aircraft, and they came, followed by Harrier. And then you will be surprised that we then got the MiG-29 version and followed by Rafale. Now, Rafale also, as you know, the Indian Air Force has Rafale, and there is a commonality factor. And so, like the MiG-29, the commonality factor adds to whenever they are in operations in the same sector, the commonality in the equipment, commonality in ammunition, commonality in the technical equipment, technical manpower, all that thing is there. And even pilots can be made to convert onto landing on aircraft carrier. And previously, Indian Air Force pilots are flying on from the aircraft carrier. So this aspect is also like a force multiplier. And then the Rafale by itself is very operational. The number of weapons you know already, and it will be soon married with BrahMos, the cruise missile, and it has got its own cruise missile, and like a hammer and number of other armament, which will add to the lethality of the punch. And what I like to tell you, now that when we have joint operations, integrated command operations, this commonality factor comes very handy out there. And when they are operating in the same sector, then information exchange, equipment exchange to each other becomes very well. Rafale also will be manufactured in India, as France has promised, and with the engine. This aspect has to be underlined because Rafale, France had already suggested that if we manufacture it, we would be able to handle the Rafale market in this Indo-Pacific zone, the countries which buy Rafale aircraft.
All right.
And let me tell you, ma'am, this is the fourth aircraft from the Dassault stable. First was Tufani, 1954, followed by Messier, followed by Mirage 2000, and then followed by Rafale. So I am quite happy.
All right.
French are smart, but they are very good.
Absolutely. Rafale boost for the Indian Navy. Thank you very much, Wing Commander Praful Bakshi. Thank you to Rishabh and Srinjoy as well for getting us the inputs. A very quick break, lot more lined up on the other side.